This guy has the worst possible superpower. Every single thought he has shows up on his face. He literally cannot keep a secret. So what happens when he walks in on the girl he's been crushing on and discovers she's hiding the biggest secret in the entire school? Yeah, it goes about as well as you'd think.
Kuramine Asahi has a problem. He's earned the nickname Open Book Asahi because he literally cannot hide a single thought or feeling. His face betrays everything, every crush, every lie, every embarrassment. And right now, he's about to put that terrible poker face to the ultimate test. Asahi has been nursing a secret crush since last fall. The girl sitting next to him in class, cool and untouchable, Shiragami Yuko. He's hopelessly in love with her, and the fact that he's hidden it for months feels like a miracle. He watches her from the corner of his eye, wondering how much longer he can keep this up. If he had to describe Shiragami in one word, it'd be mysterious, reserved expression, formal speech, always alone, even at lunch. Nobody's ever seen her arrive or leave school. She shows up earlier than anyone and stays later than everyone. Everything about her is a contradiction, wrapped in silver hair and silence. There's more weirdness, too. Shiragami always sits out of outdoor gym. Asahi figured sensitive skin, but then she showed up completely tanned one day. She's a walking enigma, and to a guy who wears every emotion on his sleeve, that mystery is magnetic. She's his complete opposite, and maybe that's why he's drawn to her. Back in class, Asahi sits there glowing, celebrating internally that he's kept his crush hidden all the way to April of second year. The teacher debates calling on him, knowing it'll derail the lesson. Meanwhile, his face is radiating smug satisfaction like a beacon. He thinks he's nailing it. He is not nailing it. His friends confirm the worst at lunch. Asahi declares he has a secret or two, and his buddy Oka says it's impossible. Asahi is too easy to read. The nickname isn't a joke, it's a diagnosis. Oka softens the blow, saying being unable to hide things isn't necessarily bad. Cold comfort when your deepest secret is written on your forehead. The evidence keeps stacking up. People exclude Asahi from confidential conversations because he'll leak whatever he hears just by existing nearby. Over lunch, his friends admit they don't trust his discretion, but they believe in him as a person. There are never any misunderstandings with Asahi. Backhanded encouragement at best, but he takes it. Walking through the hallway, Asahi's internal monologue gets brutal. Despite his best efforts, he cannot tell even a halfway convincing lie, much less keep anything secret. His friends trail behind, one feeling guilty about the roasting, another shrugging it off. Open Book Asahi isn't just banter, it's who he is. Today is different though. Asahi arrives at school with +1 telepathy-resistant glasses, strutting into class with a smirk and a handful of playing cards. He's evolved, he's upgraded. The confidence lasts about 4 seconds before his friends shut it down and take the glasses off his face. The telepathy-resistant era ends before it begins. That's when the real talk starts. Oka has noticed something. Shiragami peeks at Asahi from time to time. Not constantly, but enough for a sharp observer to catch. Oka sips his juice box and drops this casually, noting that while Asahi is basically useless, it might not be totally impossible. The wheels are turning. His friends hype him up. "Get going, Asahi!" They promise to cheer him up afterwards. One says he's not Open Book Asahi anymore. Another yells, "No more sneak attacks." It's absurd and chaotic and perfect. Asahi looks at these idiots who believe in him, and something in his chest shifts. The memories hit hard though. Last summer, the class rep shut him down before he could even confess, said she wasn't interested. The horror of being rejected before getting into the ring. His friends had to throw in the towel watching it. Asahi screams that he'd finally forgotten, and one friend marvels at how he could forget something that devastating. Oka drops his twisted logic. After that ambush rejection, a regular confession should feel like nothing. Kill them before they can kill you. Asahi repeats it in horror, but the math checks out. His plan, deliver the love letter, then run at full speed. He's got nothing to lose. His hand reaches for the classroom door. He slides the door open and the world stops. Shiragami is stretching out actual wings, sighing about how good it feels in an empty room. Asahi's brain short-circuits. Wings? Fangs? Bats? The girl who skips gym arrives early, leaves late. Every puzzle piece clicks in the worst possible moment. Asahi stumbles backward, shoes clicking against the floor. Their eyes meet, and there's no taking it back. The boy who can't hide a single secret has stumbled onto the biggest one in school. Shiragami Yuko is a vampire. And Kuramine Asahi, the open book, is the absolute worst person on earth to discover it. His brain is melting. He tries telling himself it's not real, stammering, "I didn't see anything." But Shiragami is right there, face red, eyes teary. calling him a liar. And the person in front of him now, flustered and vulnerable, nothing like the cool girl from class. She's so much cuter than he ever imagined. He might be losing it. Shiragami drops the act entirely. She speaks with a Kansai accent she's been hiding this whole time. The formal speech, the distance, the reserved expressions, all a mask to keep her fangs from showing. If she talked casually, she'd get carried away, and her secret would slip. Asahi watches the mysterious Shiragami dissolve into someone completely different. The open book does what the open book does. The truth falls out. Actually, I think you're ridiculously cute. Shiragami blinks, then asks if maybe he's confusing vampires with something else. His confession sailed completely over her head. She thought he was talking about her species. Shiragami might be extremely dense. He asks the questions he's wondered about for months. Do vampires turn to ash in sunlight? Nah, she just gets a really bad tan. That's why she skips gym and avoids the sun. The mystery behind Shiragami is casually, anticlimactically revealed. Farewell, the enigmatic Ice Queen. Hello, the vampire girl who tans like a lobster. Shiragami asks the question that changes everything. Aren't you afraid? Because the truth is, she's a vampire. She says it plainly, vulnerably, looking right at him. She asks if he'd ever guessed, and he says no. She seems relieved. She'd been thinking he noticed because he was always staring. He admits there's another reason, and keeps that one to himself. Asahi lays it out in his head. He, the open book, now guards a secret that must not be revealed to anyone. Will this be all right? He's super worried. Then Shiragami drops the stakes. Now that she's been exposed as a vampire, she has to leave school. That's the deal with her dad. She was prepared for this. She knew she'd be found out eventually. But then she smiles, and it wrecks him. She says she's already enjoyed school life to the fullest. She's satisfied. The words hit like a truck. To the fullest? Satisfied? He stares at her gentle, resigned smile, and something snaps. She shouldn't have to leave just because he walked through the wrong door. Asahi erupts. That's just wrong, he shouts. He doesn't want her to leave, not because the girl he likes will be gone, but because Shiragami has been chatting non-stop since this started, going on in her Kansai accent, expressions all over the place. She's not the loner she pretended to be. He bets she loves talking to people. He's sure of it. Shiragami apologizes for rambling and says she's glad the last person she talked to was him. Asahi's eyes go wide. She's dense. She missed him practically confessing twice. But that density means she's not overthinking any of this. She's just being herself for the first time, and Asahi is the only one who's ever seen it. Asahi shouts that he'll keep her secret. He can totally do it. It's easy. He'll do his best. Then immediately wonders if he actually can, cursing his own nickname. But the decision is made. Instead of exposing her, he offered to become her friend and protect her secret. Now he's walking home with her under the night sky. Shiragami's guard is completely down. She tells him the moment he found out, her school life was over. But instead of panicking, he chose to protect her. She's speaking freely in her real accent, and there's warmth between them that wasn't there before. She says she's happy he lives nearby. She never thought she'd walk home with a friend. Friend. The word echoes in Asahi's skull like a gong. He became friends with the girl he has a crush on. Why did he say friend back then? He's screaming internally, having a full meltdown while Shiragami walks beside him oblivious. He friend-zoned himself in the most heroic, most idiotic way possible. He bumps into Shiragami at the train station and loses his mind with joy. She lives nearby. He screams about paradise, fists pumping, while she watches with confused side-eye. His friends spot them from across the platform, jaws on the floor. A man has his dreams, and Asahi never thought he'd be walking home with a pretty girl instead of those jerks. Meanwhile, trouble is brewing. Asahi's biggest enemy in keeping this secret isn't himself. It's that obnoxious orange-haired girl from the newspaper club. He spots her, and his blood runs cold. If anyone could sniff out a vampire, it's her. Her name is Akemi Mikan. Her mottos: if you tell me not to do it, I'll do it anyway. If you run away, I'll chase you. If you say it's a secret, I'll expose it. She's Asahi's childhood friend, chief of the newspaper club, and absolutely rotten when it comes to secrets. She's already planning to squeeze the open book for tips. Back at the newspaper club, Mikan schemes. Asahi is a free, limitless source of information. Since he can't hide anything, filling the paper is easy. Her club members protest, but she waves them off. Whatever Asahi is hiding, she's going to find it. The open book just became the most dangerous person at school. Shiragami admits she always felt like he was staring at her. She thought maybe he'd noticed she was a vampire. Asahi's heart nearly explodes. He was staring because he's in love, but he keeps that to himself. There's another secret layered on top of the first, and he's juggling more hidden truths than a bag with holes should carry. They walk home together again. It's becoming routine, and Asahi couldn't be happier. But the wait is real. The open book guards a secret that could end Shiragami's school life, and somewhere in that building, Mikan is already sharpening her instincts. The worst secret keeper and the best secret hunter are on a collision course. Shiragami walks beside him, chatting in her Kansai accent about nothing in particular. Asahi looks at her bright face, her expressive eyes, this completely different person from the mystery girl everyone knows. He's not just protecting her secret because it's right. He's protecting it because this version of Shiragami is someone worth fighting for. Asahi's been wondering, how does a vampire eat at school? She eats after school since showing her teeth during lunch break would blow her cover. He watches her munching on a massive bento, whistling through her nose, and thinks she's impossibly cute. Then she catches him eyeing her food and gets defensive. He assumed blood. She eats normal food, with fangs. After school, the building's empty. Shiragami checks that nobody's around, and Asahi confirms. She relaxes, says she doesn't need to worry about being seen. His heart is pounding. Finally, she whispers, "No one's going to interrupt. The tension is unbearable." Chaos arrives on schedule. Mikan already knows Asahi walked home with Shiragami and is drafting headlines. The man who arrived in paradise. Asahi desperately tries to shut this down while Mikan's eyes gleam. He screamed about paradise at the station. His open book nature fed her every detail she needed. Mikan escalates. Next headline. Exclusive interview. Find out everything about Shiragami Yuko. Asahi drops to his knees begging, but Mikan doesn't want favors. She wants the story. The school paper went from 0 to 70% readership under her reign, and she did it by being ruthless. Full picture on Akimi Mikan, #1 school scumbag. She doesn't care about truth or public service. She lives to watch people squirm. Someone calls her an evil queen, and she looks flattered before being told it wasn't a compliment. Camera, 0 morals, childhood friendship giving unlimited access to Asahi's weak points. She already has the photo. Asahi and Shiragami walking home at night with a hotel photoshopped into the background. Love affair exposed! Asahi doesn't even know how she got the shot. This girl operates like tabloid paparazzi with the resources of a one-woman intelligence agency. Next morning, Mikan ambushes him at the gate with another photo. When did she take it? Asahi's friends watch the chaos. Oka sipping his juice box. Everyone knows this is spiraling. Mikan is zeroing in on the connection between Asahi and Shiragami like a shark. The stakes hit Asahi all at once. If Mikan digs too deep, the secret is at risk. Shiragami would quit school. Even if she doesn't, she'll retreat into isolation. Alone at her desk, eating by herself, hiding her personality. That image wrecks him. He can't let it happen. He goes to Mikan directly and begs, "Please don't write about it. He'll do anything." Mikan freezes, surprised by the desperation. She asks what he's hiding. For the first time, her sadistic glee wavers against his sincerity. Mikan says she's known him forever, so she'll listen just this once. His eyes widen. Then she grins. Didn't believe a single word. The whiplash is brutal. But the exchange reveals something. Even the school's greatest scumbag has a soft spot buried somewhere. She just won't make it easy. Asahi sprints to find Shiragami and crashes right into her in the hallway. Face to face, way too close, she scolds him for running indoors, but she's smiling, fangs out, speaking in her real accent. He begs forgiveness. Pure slapstick with romantic tension neither can handle. Oka approaches Shiragami directly, introduces himself as Asahi's friend, says he has a question. Shiragami immediately snaps back to formal speech, hiding her accent, tucking her fangs. The contrast between her two selves is striking. The bubbly girl only Asahi sees versus the mystery everyone else knows. Asahi makes his final play. Write any article about him. Drag his name through the mud. Just leave Shiragami alone. When she told him she trusted him, he had to try his best. Despite being a bag with holes, despite being the open book, he'll do his best. The sincerity is overwhelming. Oka steps in. He apologizes to Mikan, but says he's siding with Asahi this time. He can tell this is about Shiragami. Mikan is stunned. Oka has never taken sides against her. For the first time, her confidence cracks. The chase goes nuclear. Mikan refuses to back down. Asahi bolts. She chases him across the school, cackling that she has digital copies. Oka says he did well. Asahi calls her the worst. She takes it as a compliment. Their childhood friend dynamic could power a small city. Then a surprise. Mikan agrees to back off, just this once. But she looks right at him and says she didn't believe a word. She knows he's hiding something bigger, and she's not done. The truce is temporary. Round 2 is already being planned behind those glasses. Asahi reflects. Not confessing was the right call. It would have become, "I'll keep your secret, so be my girlfriend," which is wrong. He's okay with being friends for now, because one day he'll tell her his other secret, that he loves her, not through leverage, but because he earned the right. Shiragami finds him and smiles that genuine, fanged smile. She trusts him. She doesn't need him to force himself. She'll accept whatever the outcome. The words hit him square in the chest. If she says things like that, it only motivates him. He's ready to fight. And somewhere in the shadows, Mikan watches them leave together, murmuring that he's naive. So naive. She just hopes. But the sentence trails off. The open book has never had more to lose, and he's never been more ready. The battle for Shiragami's secret is only just beginning. Asahi asks the question that's been bugging him. Does a vampire drink blood? Shiragami goes completely red. Turns out for vampires, drinking blood is like pledging love. It's the equivalent of a kiss. You suck blood at a wedding instead of kissing, and Asahi just casually asked her to do it. She accuses him of sexual harassment, and he's apologizing frantically without even understanding what he did wrong. Shiragami scolds him for not knowing basic vampire common sense. Asahi apologizes for being so dense, and she softens. She admits she overreacted, but the damage is done. The word blood now carries an entirely different weight between them, and Asahi's face is doing about 15 different things at once. He blurts out, "Please suck my blood," before catching himself, and Shiragami nearly combusts. The lunch situation is becoming a crisis. Shiragami can't eat during lunch break because showing her teeth would expose her fangs, but she's starving. Her stomach is growling loud enough to hear from the hallway, and it's obvious she hasn't eaten since morning. She insists she can endure it, but she's not convincing anyone. Her whole body is shaking as she clutches her chopsticks. Asahi checks if it's okay for Shiragami to eat with Mikan around. Shiragami says she can't hog the classroom to herself, and she doesn't think it's right to kick Mikan out. But if she eats here, her teeth could be exposed. She's trying to be brave, but her stomach betrays her with another growl. Asahi internally screams that she's not convincing at all. Mikan shows up and the danger spikes immediately. She heard a boy and girl talking in a classroom after school and just wanted to break in. That's how she cures boredom. Asahi introduces her to Shiragami as his childhood friend and the newspaper club president, adding that she's the worst kind of person who delights in harassing people. Mikan tells Shiragami not to listen. Shiragami politely greets her. The chaos triangle is now complete. Mikan wastes no time. She asks Shiragami why she's eating so secretively and whether she's hiding something. Asahi panics. This is exactly what he was afraid of. Anybody would find it suspicious, not just Mikan. Shiragami eating stealthily, covering her mouth, sneaking bites. It looks fishy no matter how you slice it. He needs to find a way to fool Mikan before she digs deeper. Mikan tries a different angle. She asks Shiragami what she thinks of Asahi. Shiragami says he's a good friend, kind and funny, goofy from time to time. Asahi watches from the doorway, relieved they pulled it off this time. But then Mikan leans in and asks if Shiragami has already done it with him. Asahi screams from across the room. Shiragami has no idea what she means. The fastball didn't work on her. She's too innocent. Mikan notices Shiragami's bento is nearly empty and calls her out. It's obvious she hasn't eaten since morning. A lot of food is gone already. Shiragami panics, admitting it's hard to go without eating, but says she can hold off after a little bite. Her stomach growls again. Asahi thinks it's almost a miracle she's kept her secret this far, given how bad she is at hiding things. Mikan sees her opening. She wanted to reveal a big secret, and Asahi not having a choice made it even better. She praises the Lord for giving her revenge so soon, and marches straight to Shiragami with a question. Asahi's blood runs cold. He knew it. Mikan asks why Shiragami is eating lunch now, and Shiragami stammers that she was busy during break. The interrogation has begun. Shiragami tries to play it cool. She says she can't eat during lunch because her teeth might be exposed. Asahi nearly dies. She said it way too directly, but Mikan just asks why she's hiding her mouth while eating, and Asahi desperately redirects. It's good manners to close your mouth while eating, right? Shiragami latches onto the excuse. Crisis narrowly averted, but barely. Mikan asks the loaded question. Do you think friendship between men and women can last? Shiragami doesn't get it at all. Meanwhile, her bento is almost empty, and Asahi realizes she was so hungry, she nearly lost control earlier. They miscalculated how long she could go without eating. The vampire secret is hanging by a thread made of rice grains and willpower. Shiragami screams about her stolen shrimp. Mikan swiped it right out of her bento. Asahi yells at Shiragami to watch her mouth because her fangs are showing. The whole scene devolves into chaos, with Shiragami more upset about the shrimp than the fact that she nearly exposed herself. Mikan leaves, warning that she's always targeting Shiragami's lunch. Asahi exhales. She didn't find out. He's so glad she's an idiot. But Shiragami catches that last part. My. she repeats quietly. Asahi freezes. She heard him call her an idiot internally. Or did she? The moment passes and Shirogami asks him to forget everything that happened today. Every time he sees a shrimp, he'll remember this disaster, and so ends the lunch saga. The secret survives another day, but the close calls are getting closer. The open book, the vampire, and the orange-haired chaos agent orbit each other in an increasingly unstable pattern, and it's only a matter of time before something breaks.